Go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution, on another opportunity to take back the moment. Today's stream topic was inspired by shower thoughts. I was showering and in thought. And I was watching my thoughts not be true. You ever find that? When you're thinking things, even though you know they're not true, you're telling yourself a story, knowing it's not true, this thing you're saying to yourself. Maybe it's like a catastrophizing. Maybe you're telling yourself a story about how someone hates you, or how they don't care about you, or how they, have better things to do with their time than spend time with you, etc., etc. And all of that stuff is not true. It's just not true. And you know it. You know it's not true. The stuff that you're telling yourself in that moment. And we still do. And today I was just aware enough to be like, wait a second, that's not true. These things you're saying right now is not true, oh? And I told myself to stop. I took back the moment. I took control of my thoughts. At least I try to. And I feel like that's important. That's sometimes enough. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. The stream topic has been introduced. I'm gonna say hello to you, friends. My face says, help me, help me. I'm stuck inside this thumbnail. Good! I'm happy that you actually got that vibe because that's the vibe I was putting forth. Right? Like being stuck in thoughts. Like all of these thoughts encroaching on you. Right? And you need to take back the moment. That's exactly. That's exactly what it means. It's also like kind of angled. Right? It's like a strange angle, like, oh goodness. Morning, friends and fam. My head is too big to be contained by a single thumbnail. Just like two thumbnails necessary for a single head. One for the forehead, one for the rest of the face. Why are we making these jokes of ourselves? I'm gonna stack myself some Blue Dream. The same Blue Dream that I got for a birthday gift. I still have like 7 nugs left or something. I'm so happy about that. I was like today thinking to myself, wait a second, it's already been a month since my birthday, and I remember getting this bud as a birthday gift, and I still have some of it left, and that pleased me, made me very happy. I was like, because I like the strain. It's blueberry esque, very blueberry esque. I vaped it a bit again today after like what felt like a week and a half of not touching it. That's why it lasts, because I'm not touching it. And then as soon as the vapor kind of lets me know that it has flavor, I go like literally instinctively. Cannot help myself. Hey, Louisiana's here with us too. Bless you, friend. Hey, Sims. Hey, we would have to pick between Joy Leave's smile and the rest of her face. Just like a biggest of toothiest of grin. I'm seeing like Fish Monster in my mind for some reason. I'm seeing this caricature someone drew of a girl with braces that made her like a fish monster, and that's for some reason the toothy grin I'm seeing in my mind's eye. I will apply heat to the outside of my Dynavap, and then I will proceed to pull that heat through the little blue dream that I've stacked in there. And then I will proceed to inhale the vapors. There's a little bee in here with me. This tastes so nice. One of these days, we'll be able to share some. Hey bee, what's up, dude? want some? This is a very, what seems like exploratory bee. Usually when they're in this space, they're just, okay, now it's flying up against the glass. Now we'll have to go save it. Let's go save B. And that will be short enough.
Let me save you, friend. Let me save you. This won't hurt, I promise. It won't hurt you, I promise. It won't hurt you. I'm trying to help these, I promise. I'm trying to hurt this. There you go, I got you.
Nice. Operation Save B has been a success. Back again. Why were you going down the everybody hates me fractal melt? It wasn't like a everybody hates me fractal as much as was like a if people loved me enough, then actually this would be the behavior. Right? It was kind of like that. Yeah, you know, if I was actually loved, then so and so. You know. Oh, if so and so, then so and so. And it's not true. Because it's not that simple. Right? I was noticing that kind of vibe. Like, yeah, you know, I get what you're thinking and feeling, but it's not true. Because it's more complicated than that kind of vibe. Literally. Like the perspective of support. What support is supposed to look like in your life. What kind of support you can expect from the people you have in your life. And then articulating to yourself what that support is supposed to look like, or visualizing it, and then seeing the people you have in your life as not loving you enough because they don't support you in that particular way. Which is not true. Right. At least that, I don't think it's true. Please somebody tell me it's not true. I believe it's not true. Oh, it was a B. What a bro. Yeah. B is now back in the environment. No longer stuck against glass. Joy V. I didn't fucking say fish monster. No. I think Joy V was asking me with my whole point. I also, for a second, Sam, for what it's worth, thought Joy V was like, why are you going down the everybody hates me fractal melt? And then I was like, no, I don't think Joy V would say something like that. That doesn't sound like a very Joy V thing to say. You know, oh, what was me? No, I haven't heard Joy V say that much. She was more going about today's stream topic inspiration. I also don't have braces, so it's okay. I was not offended. Yeah. And it was just the smile, the so much of the frame being taken over the smile imagery that was like making me think. I hope some of you friends have seen the meme I was talking about at least. Be saved. Yeah. Our thoughts. Our thoughts. Are we having our thoughts right now? Or are we having our thoughts right now? Singular hour or collective hour? Because I do believe that when we come into this space together, there is like an opening of more than just thinking your own thoughts. In some way, you friends start talking about food, and suddenly my foods are also in the thoughts or whatever. That's how it works, right? So yeah, there is definitely a collective energy here, a collective sharing of thought. I wonder what that would look like if we're cyborgs with high bandwidth brain computer interfaces. I imagine we're going to be very I want to say peculiar, but I don't think that's the right word. Strung up, serious, uh, judgmental, restrictive. There's a specific word that I feel like I'm missing. Selective. That's the word. We're going to be very selective with the individuals we want to build thoughts with, right? Because if you're thinking not just by yourself but with people, then what they think about is going to influence you. That's something that a lot of people worry about. And I think it's going to become like a running joke where people are going to, start sharing thoughts, and then it's almost going to like come as like a cringe joke part of reality that everybody, when they just think the most like right off the bat, because that's what they're the most terrified of thinking, and then they've thought it, and then they're over it, and then they can go forward with their life. And it will be almost like a joke where you can have like your most horrible thoughts like a snapshot, right, that you can laugh at afterwards, realizing that you have become more more than just those fears. And I've had this conversation many times with people, especially with my family, where when the conversation of symbiosis with our technology starts, getting posed, there is this deep fear that their thoughts will be observed. Right? And the best part is like usually those who are Christians, happen to have the hardest like blocks in their brains of not wanting their thoughts heard and like experienced. And I usually in that context tell them, but God hears all of your thoughts. And that's some reason okay, the technology better not. And I say to them, right, again, on the other side, if it's not like a God here's your thoughts, I say to them that your worst possible thought isn't that bad. And I know that sounds like a horrible thing to say, but hear me out. Right? In the grand scheme of everything, again, your worst possible thought is not that bad. You might have a thought that, harms you or another person, or is sexual in nature, or like what worse can you do? Like in a conversation kind of vibe. All right, like the depth of how bad it gets only goes so far, at least in my mind, right, of how bad it can get. And then it kind of like hits a point of saturation of like, okay, if you had the opportunity to listen to all of the bad thoughts that could be, you would have a data set. And that data set would be significantly smaller than that of everything. So in my mind, we will basically teach ourselves, or by trial and error, by the cleansing fire of our consciousness, melt away all of the muck that we can think about by almost like dragging it out into the light, and then melting it into its small little core, small little puck, small little, period of a sentence that it would make a part of the grander infinity. Like I feel once we realize it's not that bad, that we aren't that bad. Maybe that's the right one, right? Because like we as a species have been very brain damaged by society and by religion especially. about the nature of our beingness. And if you think about the whole capital fractal as well, the value of your beingness. Maybe if we actually believe we're not so bad, we can start being good. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it might be very uncomfortable getting there, but it will be an interesting journey. Let me get my comments open up again. Been working on cool art, Sam? Good question. Nancy's here too. Has the moment already been taken back? We're actively taking it back, right? And I feel like that whole brain-computer interface conversation we just had is kind of like taking the moment back. Because you might have an awkward thought. Maybe you have a sexual thought about your coworker. And now, you were working together and now it's suddenly weird. And then you can just be like, I'm so sorry. I am but a human. Let's take back this moment and rechannel our energy into some other direction. Right? And I feel, again, it will get to a point where we will not take things as seriously. Is that true? It's a hard one to say. Some people will still take things very seriously. But I think it's again the whole question of, is it true? Because that whole taking it seriously thing, for instance, let's keep it simple and weird with the whole having a sexual thought about a coworker thing, right? In that context, if that coworker has to hear that or has to know that information, they can catastrophize in their mind, going down a rabbit hole of like, oh, maybe this person is going to try and harm me with this sexual intent potentially, or maybe it's going to distract their workplace, or maybe they're just spending their whole time thinking about that instead of actually doing their work. And you can have all of these thoughts, but rarely are they going to be true. Rarely are they going to be true. It might just be like a in the spur moment. Maybe this other person hasn't, had any intimacy in their life, and this coworker is someone who is close enough and familiar enough, and there's suddenly a moment of like infatuation, but it's not true. Love is true, right? Technically, but that moment doesn't necessarily mean anything other than just the information that arose in that moment. And the context, I guess it's a context thing as well. Jeez, I get it. It's gonna be complicated. It's gonna be very weird sharing thoughts with people. Maybe there will be like a certain like almost like air gap you can create, like an interpreter. You can be like, hey, interpreter, I do not want to receive any information of this nature ever. And in that way, you can technically spare yourself the catastrophizing. You'll filter out the parts of reality you do not want to experience. And then there will be some individuals who do not tick any of those filters. And I would like to believe I'm one of those individuals, but I also know that's not true. I also know that's not true. I am definitely gonna take some filters. I'm gonna be like, I don't want any of these thoughts. Keep them, thank you. I'll have the rest. Control, right? Taking control of your thoughts. That was today's stream topic, technically. How did we get here? It is an interesting thing to think about. A new layer. A new layer that goes on top of our prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex basically serving your limbic system, right? Or is there a layer in between? Hey Google, please define the 3 parts of the brain. Yeah, the main 3 parts. The cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebrum. The cerebrum is like the wavy part. The cerebrum is like the part at the bottom, and then the brainstem is the part that attaches to the rest of your central nervous system. Right? And the way I understand it is that your central nervous system is technically big boss, technically, right? Because this central nervous system extends into this vessel and then wants to keep this thing alive, wants to keep it happy, wants to keep it satisfied. And then in doing so, it like upgrades the complexity into like behaviors, like mating behavior, foraging behavior, right? Safety seeking behavior, clan building behaviors, right? That you can technically do all of those things without being able to verbalize. You don't have to. But then we do. We have our cortex, the wavy part, the part that is complexity, the part that is ideas, the part that is complex conversations, I believe at least. And now we are building a fourth layer. And that layer, some people worry is going to have a direction of its own. But I imagine it serving, again, down to the common denominator, your central nervous system. And all of our central nervous systems are relatively similar. Relatively similar. And I think relating to that is also going to remind ourselves of our unity a little bit. Being able to feel another person's pain. If you choose to. If you untick that filter. Right? It's gonna be a wild west for a while there. The future. The future is gonna be interesting. Very interesting. On Discord general melt. Kristen got a new fur friend. Let me see. Let my eyeballs witness. I wanna see. Thank you. May your life always be warm and gentle and shining. Ooh, what are those? Customer. Oh, hand weeders. That is nice. Duck Dad got some hand weeders. They look pretty posh. You should go and check out the Discord if you want to see. Very nice, dude. Very, very nice indeed. There's the little deer. Goodness. Like that photo that you took of the deer is very close as well. Yeah, Doomsday. Oh! I might be meeting this fella. This fella is home. Oh, your goodness. He looks very, and this is such a weird thing to say, genetically diverse. Like his little snouty is a little bit longer, which is good for his quality of life. Is it a he? We might be meeting this fella. Gender doesn't really matter to me, but for speaking sake, look at this. Look at this baby. Look at this little baby. Look at him. Look at your great babies. You're like, I can't see how long his little face is, Smelt. You're like, with little Dixie. And there's nothing wrong with Dixie, of course. But his little schnauty is significantly longer. Dixie being like, wow, I got a friend. I got a friend. And then, of course, one more. Little doggo just laying there. It's a beautiful doggo. He looks very healthy and like he's going to be. You got a new baby, Nick. Doesn't roll off the tongue, but we'll find a suitable nickname. Nick the doggo. That beautiful boy barks at every noise. He also doesn't want to sleep the whole night. You know, he's probably still just young. He's in his teenagers right now. Of course, he's not gonna want to sleep. He wants to play games all night, Mom. Very cute. Little Nicky. Adam Sandler's Little Nicky. I actually watched that movie. I regret to say, I actually watched that, but that's only because one of my cousins is like a very big Adam Sandler fan, and he had like every single Adam Sandler movie on a folder. So I was like, what is this Little Nicky stuff? I think my brain has deleted most of that information. I remember my dad also taking issue with like the whole Satan angle or something. mm I suppose it's been a minute since I've uploaded anything. As a matter of fact, yes, Joy Vive, I have. I'm working on a custom green for a Picard Heart Chakra canvas board. That's awesome. My first canvas has the custom green I mixed. Just came home a few days ago. I'll throw it on the Discord. Have you already? Let's see. Share your work? No, not yet. Woo! 1 up stars. Putting some wild stuff in his Dynavap. Buds of nice flavor to vape and nice amount of resin for vaping. I got a nice amount using my hair straightener. Fix the parchment paper. Dynavap 2017. He's had his Dynavap for 7 years now. Flexing on us. Makes me super happy that it's still working so well. It's still working well enough to be used. Bless. Bless, bless, bless. Mm-mm-mm. New fur friend, thank you again. Got a new pup. What's its name? Its name is Nick, I think. Right? We'll get a nickname for Nick. We have Nikki now. Little Nikki. Naughty Nick. Not gonna sleep Nick. How about Nanik? Newest canvas board is in creative space. Thank you. Let me check out there. Oh, Sam and Mom. Such a nice photo with your pieces in the background. I wanna. Can I? I wanna. This is such a cool photo. Especially with her pieces in the background. Mom giving Sam some lovins. Look at them pieces. That's a really cool wall, Sam. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you, Sam. Okay? I'm super happy for you. That one with like the tsunami. Like that one is special. All of them are special, but that one is definitely drawing my attention. Our newest piece. I think with all of the reflections, it's a little bit getting lost, but if you friends want, hey, there we go. That's better. Very nice. That is pretty cool. What just happened? Okay. Melt thyself. I'd only now noticed the text. That makes me very happy. I approve. Alright, let me get back. Let me get back to the chat. Thank you, Sam, for sharing your work with us. For letting me share it as well. Sorry if I like gave you too much screen time there, you know, with your physical form. It's so cool. Like I had to show that picture of all of your pieces in the background. You know, like I've wanted to print out all of my pieces and put them up against the wall like that, and I've not. And you've just inspired my heart so much. So thank you. So thank you, Bojo. It's nice seeing you here, bro. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but I'm thanking you back. I love you. It's nice having you here, man. How are you feeling today? That's my mom's art room, yo. That's her work. Still awesome. He was canvas for bless her too. It's nice that you both can do stuff like that. They made the tie-dye shirts they're wearing too. So awesome. Thank you, Joy V, for honoring Sam as well. That is so cool. Matching tie-dye shirts. I mean, not matching, the patterns, the colors are definitely matchings. That is very cool, Sam. I had to go and look again. Oh man, by the nighttime hours, I don't know why. Maybe I can Google actually. There should be some sort of data about this. I've been a little bit sick for like a week now, and for some reason, by the evening hours, I get a little bit more stuffy, my voice gets a little bit more thick, and sometimes I start getting a headache again. Is there any scientific or medical reason that we end up getting a little bit more symptomatic by the end of our days? I'm sorry to hear you're feeling unwell. The increase in symptoms like stuffiness, thicker voice, and headaches in the evening can indeed have some medical explanations. Here are a few possibilities. Circadian rhythms. Your body's natural circadian rhythms, which regulate the sleep wake cycle, also influence various bodily functions, including immune responses and hormone levels. Inflammation can naturally increase during the night, leading to more pronounced symptoms in the evening. Number two, that can also influence it, is a prolonged upright position. Being upright throughout the day can lead to fluid accumulation in the lower extremities. When you lie down at night, this fluid redistributes and can lead to increased nasal congestion and possibly a headache. So when you wake up in the morning, I haven't had that too much. I usually wake up feeling pretty good. Fatigue. As you go through the day, general fatigue and the stress of daily activities can exacerbate symptoms. Your body's defenses may be lower by the end of the day due to tiredness, making symptoms feel more severe. Your environment. Factors in your evening environment, such as dry air from heating systems or allergens like dust mites, that are more prevalent in bedding and furniture could also aggravate your symptoms. And then medication timing. I'm not taking any medication right now, so there we go. The circadian rhythms is the one that feels the most right to me. Inflammation and immunoresponse differences. The more you know. Now I understand this too. Restarting comments. There we go. I was told to smile by an adult authority figure, automatically making my compliance impossible. Hence the scowl. Hey, Shell is here with us as well. Bless you, Shell. It's nice seeing your name. Yeah, getting told what to do rarely has me enthusiastically doing it, I find as well. They outlawed beach yoga. What the hell? Like you're not allowed to do yoga on the beach? Were people killing creatures? Were they leaving the yoga mats to wave into the ocean? Or is it just a bunch of angry old guys that see young people doing yoga on the beach and they're like, stop that. You're not allowed to do that anymore. What are they gonna do, arrest you? Oh yeah, yogaing on beach as a charge. Man, I wanna get arrested for some shit like that, bro. here's the other side of the perspective. It seems Sam saying San Diego is probably tired of all of the insufferable basic Instagram models strutting around everywhere. The beach trash issue is bad enough. I understand why they did it. Um, Laws preventing people from doing things is rarely a good thing for anybody, right? And if we give our governments leeway to do stuff like that, guess what? They will. They will do shit like that, right? And it's not gonna stop there. It's okay if it's not you doing yoga on the beach. I don't care. I don't do yoga on the beach anyway, until it is something that affects you, right? And by that time, it might be too late for you to actually make a change. San Diego. So, ground up earthworms fed to other earthworms inherit the ability to traverse mazes. Sam inherits her arting from her mom. It's insane what is passed down in our genes. Yeah. So I don't know if you understand what Joy Vive just said, but they did a study where they let worms figure out a maze, right? Then they took those worms and turned them into a paste, and then they put that paste in a new worm enclosure. And then the worms proceeded to eat the other worms. And then by that had a transference of information where they solved the maze at a comparable speed to those who have already solved the maze. I mean, like there's more. There's more than just that. We can think about the butterfly fractal. If you expose a worm to a certain chemical scent and then apply uncomfortable electric shock to them, not a fatal, an uncomfortable electric shock to them, they learn to associate that scent with discomfort, and it causes them to squirm, right? To the point where just smelling the scent, they'll start being like, I don't wanna get shocked, right? And then they pupate, and they turn into butterflies. So they turn to goo, right? Their literal brains change completely. They don't have the same brains when they turn into a butterfly. And then you expose the butterflies to that same scent, and they again, right? It goes deeper. Like it goes into like the genetic fractals of like babies as well. Like if a mother has a baby during a certain time, a certain situation, an environment that is like, for instance, famine, her babies end up being more likely to develop schizophrenia and obesity disorders. Like the babies literally end up like being energy reservant in their physical forms to the point of it increasing their obesity rates statistically. And that's just one. Like there's so much that we get. You are a product of billions of years of stuff happening. So much stuff. So much stuff had to happen for you to just be here right now. I'm thinking about that line that Joy Vive dropped the other day of like, you are special, right? Some people would tell you to not think you're special, but the fact that you are here right now in this civilization, being one of the apex predators that have developed the ability to communicate and are now using their technology to communicate literally intercontinentally. Usually people who would communicate intercontinentally were doing so for business purposes or conquering planet purposes. We're actually doing so for love's purposes. And that is a grand shift. That is a grand shift in our species' trajectory, at least in my mind. And I am excited for it. You are special. We, as a species, are special. And we're going to do special things. This I believe. I have seen it. You friends have showed me it. Love is true. It's big news. The police will shut them down. Yes, nice. That's very cool. Ryan lives in San Diego. It's a nice little ocean community. Yeah, and Ryan has done yoga on the beach. He has literally taken us with his camera with him at 6 a.m. in the morning and he did beach yoga. Now he's gonna get arrested for doing that, and we're okay with this. We think this is okay? We think this is fine? Like, what is going on in America right now? Next, no sunbathing thing on the beach. Yeah. And then, no, of course, women having bikinis on, full coverage, And then, actually, women, no skin show at all. I don't want to see ankles. I'm not saying that this is how I want it, but this is how things happen, right? Like, you give the government a fucking inch to tell you what you can and cannot do, and you get tyrannized. Fuck no. I would literally start doing yoga on the beach after hearing these rules, just as a point. I'll waste as much government resources as I can. You wanna arrest people for doing yoga? What the actual? It's all I want to do this morning. Let's go. Do it, shall. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Is your job gonna fire you? Oh, what did you get arrested for? Doing yoga? Oh wow. Let's pay you to move somewhere else. Laws that prevent people from doing things is rarely a good idea. Why don't you have a seatbelt? And I'll tell you about a man named William Randolph Hearst. Please do. I don't know that name. That other prolapse anus who has a part to play here is Harry J. Ainslinger, Hearst's right-hand man, and a nepotistic appointment to the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. And the long story made short is these two colluded to get marijuana made illegal because it endangered their shared interests. All this country does is pass laws that hurts its people. Yeah, and for some reason, there's not mass outcry about that, and that's why they keep doing it, because they keep getting away with it, right? If 10,000 people just fucking took to the beaches and started yogaing, what the fuck are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Like, actually, what are you gonna do? You're gonna arrest all 10,000 people? Next day, there's 10,000 more people. And then next day again, 10,000 more people. And then again. Right? This is the level of power we as humans have. And for some reason, we're just not. We're just kind of like laying there and taking it from these fucking governments. And it baffles my mind. It baffles my intellect. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I am sure it's gonna change. It has to, kind of vibe. It's like just a matter of time. I'm sure that most people feel the way that I do. Maybe there's just like a lack of acknowledgement or a lack of commitment. It's maybe the right word. Right. It's like we're all still comfortable enough right now getting taken advantage of. But at some point, the roof is on fire. We're gonna have to get out of this situationship we find ourselves in with governments. Because technically, and this is my favorite articulation for what a government is, a government is a company with a monopoly on violence. That's what a government is. Company, as in a bunch of people coming together, with a monopoly, as in they have the most resources to, and the most freedom to, violence. Police, brutality, military, literally incursion, weapons of mass destruction, extreme violence, and they have a monopoly on that. So bonkers, this planet we live on. And then I get born onto it. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, like it fucked me up for long as a child. And weirdly enough, my child fascination at first tried to relate to it. I was like, oh, we're killing each other. Okay. I will make chemical weapons. And I literally, at one point in my life, that sounded like a good idea to me. I was like, oh, we're killing each other? Let's make chemical weapons. And this was literally my mind as a child trying to, again, uh, add value. I didn't want to kill people with the chemical weapons. They were more, in my mind, very corrosive. So you could make buildings go away. That was my idea of like, I will develop something as such. I still have a deep fascination with the idea of walking towards a wall and the wall just making way. I really love that idea. And I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know if I have to grow more dense. That might be it. I might have to grow more dense and then have like an extreme magnetic field around me that rips the atoms apart as I move towards them. Mm, yes. But I should be able to turn it off, increase my density, and then decrease it again. That seems highly unlikely. I don't know. There's no easy way of doing that. And I might end up, dying as well for it. So, again, back to chemical weapons. Melt the walls. Melt the walls with chemicals and then walk through them. And then I'm like, but what about all of the goo that's still going to be dropping? And then I'm like, I'm just going to be wearing a suit. Oh. I just wear a suit. Anti-corrosive. Little nanomachines that literally fight the corrosives. I wish I was I wish I was joking about this stuff. Driving yesterday on my way to go and drop the media of I was in the space of just consideration of like my exposure and like all of the stuff that I've watched. Thinking about my very young childhood self watching Spider-Man. At first on the VHS, like having those animated Spider-Man episodes. Like I've been fascinated with this whole superhero fractal from a very young age. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, of course, right? Like, and I'm tripping out about that part specifically. The amount of people that for some reason find some sort of fascination in that. And there is something that shifted. There is something that shifted, definitely. Like the Marvel franchise is actually now falling apart a little bit. Like our fascination, our superhero craze in our collective brains seem to have hit a point of saturation and it's curving downwards again. And even though I'm saying that, I'm imagining like future generations, like a kid that is born 30 years from now. If he is going to have access to media in this world, what kind of media will he be attracted to? Or she, or they, them, whatever they identify as. Like what is that soul going to be attracted to? And I wonder if superheroes will, for the same reason they have been fascinating to me and to kids in the freaking 1950s, right? If there's going to be some sort of consistency there, is going to be a specific type of person as well. Will that person, due to their attraction to stories like that, live a life that allow for the ego to play into that role? taking back this moment. Maybe instead of being sort of like caught up in being saviors of the world, we should be saviors of our own moment. To notice when you're having a bad time in some sort of mental narrative you might be spinning, and then to not do that. To take back control for a moment at least. To feel differently. To feel good about yourself for being able to take back that moment. No, 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 no. And the long story, I think I've heard the one. And today, the government of Maryland is expunging. There we go! Nice! The governor of Maryland is expunging 175,000 marijuana convictions. Bless. Bless, bless. Double bless. That's super cool. If thousands of people start doing yish yoga, what are they going to do? The technique is called kettling, and it's something the police do to brutalize protesters. Yeah. Again, like how can you be paying for people who brutalize you? I think we can all agree that people are on their most vulnerable in their yoga clothes. That's very true. It is, like not a lot of armor. I wonder what the reasoning is for banning yoga on the beach. Are people leaving their yoga mats behind? I can't even imagine. That was what I was thinking as well, Nanshi. But I don't like buying a new yoga mat every single time I want to go and do yoga. So, like, those yoga mats have been with me. This one, that blue one, has been with me since I was 14 years old. I got that blue one when I was 14. So that thing is 12 years old right now. That thing is older than most of the children that the friends have in this space. Huh? And then this one I got when I just started practicing yoga with the Soul of Yoga, Brother Ryan's studio. And that was in 2020 of May. So that one is also coming along, right? Like, you don't really want to keep replacing your yoga mats ideally. So I don't think that should be a problem. I think it could, like one person is gonna be neglectful and the wind will just swoop it up. That I can imagine happening pretty regularly. So maybe that's the problem. It's a Wall Street Journal behind the paywall scan. It's not garbage. There is something to do with it has something to do with taxes. The idea of banning yoga to me seems like the idea of squeezing water. Yeah, exactly. It's going somewhere and things are going to get wet. Attention paywall scalers. The Wayback Archive can get you around that. The Wayback Archive does that? I did not know that. The Wayback Machine has more to it. Bless you, Sam. That's awesome. Can refer to police song born in the 50s for the data. Greystone thyself. Your yoga mat is a middle schooler. Yeah. That's kind of wild, huh? It's very busted. That yoga mat looks like it's seen some shit. That yoga mat at one point got used to service cars, and it has a bunch of grease stains on it. You want to see? Watch. But for the most part, these are the grease stains. For the most part, this is just like the supporting mat for my purple one, which has also seen better days. I do not weigh nothing. And things give way underneath me. Especially if I point my toes. I'm just tripping out about like sheer forces. It's impressive that our skin is capable of so much as well. Even though I joke and I say I want a super suit a lot, technically your skin is your super suit. So, thank you, skin, for being my clothing. My flesh is clothing. Stop, oh please, you're making it fucking weird. I just went on YouTube and looked around regarding the yoga ban, and a lawsuit has already been filed against it, as well as a temporary restraining order. Okay, so there are people who are just not just laying down and taking it. Good. This makes me happy. Melt, I think it might be time to buy a new yoga mat, my dude. I mean, let's see what new yoga mats cost. I do have some money now after all of this work we've done. I would rather buy batteries though. Is that what I'm gonna buy? No. I can't buy enough batteries right now for it to make a realistic difference. Oh yeah, I can have Amazon now. I forgot about this. It's in India. In Mumbai. No. I even said Africa. There we go. Yeah, they're like $400. Here's one for $1,700. You see? This is what happens now to my mind, where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy a new yoga mat, and the average one is like 400 rand. Why is this one 5 times the price? Why is this one 5 times the price? Best in class mat. Oh yeah? Lightweight version of our pro multi-purpose workout mat. The #1 recommended yoga mat by fitness instructors and yoga therapists all around the world. Oh wow. You know, I've talked to a bunch of fitness instructors and a bunch of yoga therapists actually all over the world, and no one, not a single one of them, have ever recommended this one to me. Not the #1. Nobody has ever. I'm calling cap. Manduka. Yeah, see, that's so expensive. And still I want one. You see, maybe that's what they're doing. They're just pricing it at a premium so that people end up buying it. Just because it's the more expensive one. All of these look like they're supposed to get wrecked. Like they're not gonna last. I see there's a bunch of these Manduka ones though. Nah, I'm not spending that much money on fucking anymore. No, I'm not gonna do it. I will not. The Manduka Pros look fucking sweet. You see, you too now, Sam. Maybe we can get some on eBay. We're getting scammed. We're getting scammed. Are they good quality? Maybe that's the thing that my mind is like about. Are they really that much better quality? I'm on another website right now. Ultra durable rubber yoga mat. This thing looks pretty thin. 5 millimeters thick. It's not that thin. But the purple one is out of stock. This one is 1,000 rand. So like $50. $50. No, I don't need a new yoga mat. My yoga mats, there's nothing wrong with my yoga mats. Actually, actually, now that I've taken 1 second to think about it, I don't want new yoga mats. I don't need. My yoga mats are fine. They only get used when I take them places. Now I'm suddenly, now I'm suddenly thinking, are people judging me? And I can feel Joy Vive being like, yes, Mel. Yes, they're judging you, Mel. You should feel bad about how much they're judging you and buy yourself new yoga mats. No. No, I won't be peer pressured like such. No, I won't. No. No, I refuse. I will kick and scream. I never want to get the most expensive thing. No, I always do. Uh, because I've not been let down by that in many ways. In many ways. Right? Me wanting the most expensive GPU back then now has allowed me to do all of the work I've been doing. I would not been able to do the work as quickly as I did this weekend with all of the rendering I was doing if I didn't have a machine. I would just not be able to. So there's a few things that show me I end up spending more money than I might intend to buying nice things, but I rarely miss the money as much as I love the thing. And then in that context, the thing that irks me the most is not loving the thing that I spent money on. Right? Like spending a lot of money on something and then hating that product. Like for instance, these pair of sandals would be the opposite of that example. I have been like tearing, and I don't mean tearing lightly, I mean tearing literally through sandals. My mom bought me 4 pairs of sandals for my Christmas gift. Last year, my birthday. By December, I have torn through all 4 of those sets. And I was on my 5th set, my mom had to buy me another pair again. And those sets were like 200 rand a pair. So on total, it was about 1,000 rand for those 5 sets of sandals. And I literally walk on them and I dance on them and I run on them to the point where they're uh, as thick as a quarter, right? Like you can literally feel that I've like worn through that padding, and then I rip them apart eventually. The sandal just goes flying while I'm running or something. And then this pair of sandals was like 1,200 rand, which is like $60 or something. And that was like, 60 bucks for a pair of sandals? Shit. But I've not been able to rip through them, right? Like I mean, they are thinner there than they used to be, and definitely there as well. Like they are getting thinner, but I've not been able to rip through them. In fact, there's not even like a mild tear on any of these seams. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I would like to build my own tech, bespoke from the ground up. Everything. Literally everything. But that's gonna cost me so much right now, at least. And I'm okay with that. I am. If my tech stands in my way, then I don't get to go where I'm going. I don't get to see the sun setting. Okay, the Wayback Archive does that. So you plug the URL of the shit ring you want to read, then look for the day it was archived, then read it straight from the website. That's pretty cool. Now I think it might be time to no. That's good news. The Monduka Pros look fucking sweet. Yeah, we only got the Pro lights, so I don't even know if I want the light one. You're getting scammed. I consent to the chance of receiving a box of used batteries and a wag of used. No. No, no. Not of the eBay thing. I don't think, weirdly enough, most of eBay transactions are actually not scams, so I don't really believe that. Mm, I never want to get the most expensive thing. I mean, I want the nice shit, but I want it in the cheapest way possible. I'm thinking about your Dynavap now, Joviv. You know, because I honestly believe that they make the B model Dynavap's bowl a little bit shallower so that you end up buying the bigger one later. Right? And then you have two Dynavaps technically. And it's nice having something that's all metal. But technically, on your teeth, that that silicone one is actually kind of nice as well. Okay, $50 is crazy. My last yoga mat was $20, and I think I need a new one. Yeah, you see, this is the point I'm making, Jovi. It's the fact that your last yoga mat was $20, and at this point, now you think you need a new one. I think that yoga mat was also $20, the purple one, and I got it 2 years ago, so it's 2 years old, and it's at a point where I need a new one. So if I paid for the what's that brand name, the Manduka. I can't believe I'm fucking repping their brand now. If I paid for the Manduka, would I have only wanted to buy a yoga mat again in for the equivalent pricing 8 years instead of in 2 years? I would like to believe so. If it is so, then it makes sense to me to buy that product. But what are they making it out of? That it can resist the sheer force of my toe digging into it. Love you all. Wish me luck with the poppers. I'm exhausted. I hope you get some sleep. The poppers is okay, I believe. I think the poppers is just extra energy. Right? And there is no need for sleep. There is only need for play. Love is true. I'm gonna say goodbye, pull a card, and then go and get some more work done. I figured out all of the things I needed figuring out, and I know what I need to do tonight. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to finish everything I need to finish by the end of the night. It would be nice. It would be nice to be able to finish. I have some text files to make. That's the thing I'm really aware of. I'm gonna have to save all of the DJ names and then drag it into my timelines. Like, of course, that's something I hear today. It's like, yeah, maybe we can like have all of the DJ names on the screen behind them. Maybe we can do that. Oh, yeah, man. Okay. Okay, we can. Got the card colors. Oh yes, all good. Just extra like Mount said. Good. Happy I'm not lying to our friends as well. The Octahedron. We haven't pulled that card in a while. The Octahedron. Card 54. Nourishment and air. Sorry for those sounds. The octahedron and its 8 triangular faces is one of the 5 three-dimensional shapes called the Platonic solids. Seen in another way, an octahedron is a figure created by 2 pyramids sharing the same base. One pyramid points up and one points down, dividing space into 8 equal directions.
The octahedron is associated with the element of air and is a symbol of nourishment, with the powerful ability to bring together differing viewpoints. It is earth and sky energies united. It is male and female in balance, understanding. This card invites you to consider how your life is nourished by broadening your perspective and looking at the many facets in many directions in order to find balance and nourishment. Yeah, Loizana. That one also hit me of like, oh. Loizana recommended that I find more work-life balance with my current workload. You know, and I agree with her, but it's not easy always, right? So looking at the different facets to find more balance and nourishment. Reflect on the effect of 8 aspects on the object of your inquiry. Sit quietly and breathe in and out. Contemplate each aspect. How does cooperation affect your viewpoint of the situation? Your view of the situation? Might patience help events to flow more freely? Remember, at our core, we are all love, and joy and peace are our birthright. Feel appreciation for the process and gratitude for the understanding you will gain. You may want to choose other aspects to explore. Create your own list. This message here is to know you. The message here is to know you will be nourished by expanding your viewpoint. Well, it is true. This weekend, I made art and, well, made visuals for an event that was so far outside of my viewpoint, and I was collaborating with a team to give them the vision they wanted for their event. All right, and it wasn't what I wanted to see. I would, in fact, not be happy if I saw that for me, but it wasn't for me. All right, and in sharing that viewpoint and in collaborating in that way, I was nourished by that company. So, yeah, love is true. It's gonna be 17 minutes past very soon. How soon? Like this 6 friends and 1 upvote right now, so this 16 kind of is synchronous right now. But let's see, we can see it together. We get 17 on the 17th with a 71 percentage. Nice! Got some synchronies. Love is true. I appreciate you friends for joining me. Let me open one of these and then I can ask it. Today we talked about, instantly my mind spaces. Come on, bro. Don't do this to me. Today we talked about taking back the moment. How sometimes we find ourselves in a thought, and just by reminding ourselves that that thought might not be true, we can make ourselves feel a little bit more light again. There we go. Yeah. This is one of those goodbye messages. No, this is not a goodbye message. Hmm. Mm. Have the most stupendous day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so astonishingly, exquisitely, marvelously, profoundly, enchantingly, exceptionally, lovingly, breathtakingly, wholeheartedly, brilliantly, Mel, and all of you. Oh, so upliftingly, thoughtfully, inspiringly, incredible, compassionate, remarkable, tender hearted, amazing, empathetic, understanding friends who remind themselves that some thoughts might not be true, steering themselves towards the love they know to be. So, love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I appreciate sharing these moments. I'll see you again soon. Today we talked about processing. Protesting? No, we did a little bit. Don't not listen to those thoughts or whatever. I love you, friends. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Peace out, everyone, and cheers to the First Amendment. Cheers to freedom. To know that yourself be taken. You are awesome, and I love you. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.